Tired of battling pesky bugs that are ruining your pepper plants? Get ready to say goodbye to those frustrating pests with these surprisingly simple, natural methods that will have your peppers thriving in no time. The frustration every pepper grower knows too well. Picture this. You've lovingly tended to your pepper plants for weeks, watching those first green shoots emerge and carefully nurturing them through their early growth stages. You're already dreaming of fresh salsa and stuffed peppers when you notice something alarming. Tiny holes pepper the leaves, some have yellowed edges, and worst of all, those promising flower buds are dropping before they can set fruit. Sound familiar? You're not alone in this battle. The reality is that pepper plants are magnets for a variety of pests, from aphids and spider mites to cutworms and hornworms. These unwelcome visitors don't just cause cosmetic damage, they can completely derail your growing season. Stunted growth becomes the norm as plants struggle to photosynthesize through damaged leaves. Yields plummet as stressed plants redirect energy from fruit production to survival. What started as an exciting gardening project quickly turns into a source of disappointment and frustration. The good news? Prevention doesn't have to be complicated, expensive, or involve harsh chemicals that harm beneficial insects and soil health. The most effective approach to pest management starts long before the first bug appears, and it's surprisingly straightforward once you understand the fundamentals. Natural solutions are really your garden's built-in defense system. You know, the secret to effortless pest control lies in working with nature rather than against it. Natural pest management isn't just about avoiding chemicals, it's about creating an ecosystem where your pepper plants can thrive while pests struggle to establish themselves. This approach is not only more sustainable, but honestly, it's often more effective than those reactive treatments. Companion planting is, hands down, one of the most powerful tools in your natural pest prevention arsenal. Certain plants act as living pest deterrents, creating an invisible barrier around your peppers that, well, a lot of insects simply won't cross. Basil, for instance, isn't just perfect for your kitchen, it's a natural aphid and spider mite repellent. The aromatic compounds that make basil so delicious to us are actually offensive to many common pepper pests. So plant basil around the perimeter of your pepper bed or intersperse it throughout your pepper rows. The closer the better, as the protective compounds are most concentrated within a few feet of the basil plants. Marigolds offer another layer of protection, particularly against nematodes that attack pepper roots underground. Their strong scent confuses pest insects while their roots release compounds that make the soil less hospitable to harmful organisms. Don't overlook nasturtiums, which serve as excellent trap crops. These colorful flowers are so attractive to aphids and cucumber beetles that they'll often ignore your peppers entirely in favor of the nasturtiums. You can then easily remove affected nasturtium plants before pests can establish themselves and spread. Beneficial insects, nature's pest control army. While you're creating a pest-unfriendly environment, simultaneously roll out the welcome mat for beneficial insects. Ladybugs are perhaps the most famous garden allies, with a single adult capable of consuming up to 5,000 aphids in its lifetime. But they're just the beginning. Lacewings, with their voracious larvae known as aphid lions, can clear an infestation in days rather than weeks. Creating habitat for these beneficial insects is surprisingly simple. Allow some areas of your garden to remain slightly wild, with native flowers and grasses where beneficial insects can shelter and reproduce. Avoid broad-spectrum pesticides entirely, as these kill beneficial insects along with pests, often creating worse pest problems in the long run as pest populations recover faster than their natural predators. Essential practices: building plant resilience from the ground up. The foundation of pest prevention is plant health. Vigorous, well-nourished pepper plants have natural defenses that weak, stressed plants simply cannot maintain. Think of it as building your plant's immune system. Healthy plants can often repel or tolerate pest pressure that would devastate struggling ones. Everything starts with soil health. Pepper plants growing in rich, well-draining soil with adequate organic matter are naturally more resistant to both pests and diseases. Compost isn't just fertilizer. It's actually teeming with beneficial microorganisms that help plants access nutrients and fight off harmful pathogens. Work compost into your pepper beds before planting and, continue adding it as a mulch throughout the growing season. Proper drainage is equally crucial. Waterlogged soil not only weakens plants but creates conditions that favor many pest insects. If your soil tends to stay soggy, consider raised beds or adding coarse organic matter like aged bark chips to improve drainage. Your watering technique can either strengthen your plant's natural defenses or create conditions that attract pests. Deep, infrequent watering encourages strong root development and helps plants better withstand stress. On the other hand, shallow, frequent watering creates weak surface roots and maintains the high humidity that many pests prefer. Water at soil level rather than overhead whenever possible. Wet foliage provides ideal conditions for fungal diseases and creates drinking opportunities for pests like spider mites. Drip irrigation or soaker hoses are ideal, but even hand watering at the base of plants makes a significant difference. Early morning watering allows any moisture on leaves to evaporate quickly, reducing disease pressure. Vigilant monitoring. It's all about catching problems early. Regular plant inspection is perhaps the most underrated aspect of pest prevention. A quick daily walk through your pepper patch, especially during peak growing season, allows you to spot pest problems while they're still manageable. Look for the subtle early signs. Slightly discolored leaves, tiny webs, or small holes that indicate pest activity is just beginning. Check the undersides of leaves, where many pests prefer to hide and lay eggs. Look for unusual wilting, especially on hot days when plants should be turgid if properly watered. Early detection means you can often remove a few affected leaves or use targeted treatments before problems spread throughout your plants. DIY solutions. Simple remedies that actually work. When prevention isn't quite enough, simple homemade solutions can provide the extra protection your peppers need. These treatments are gentle enough to use regularly without harming beneficial insects or soil life, yet effective enough to control most common pepper pests. Natural spray solutions, kitchen cabinet pest control. Neem oil spray remains one of the most versatile natural pest control options available to home gardeners. This botanical extract works by disrupting pest insects' feeding and reproduction, while being virtually harmless to mammals and beneficial insects when used properly. Mix according to package directions and apply in early morning or evening to avoid leaf burn. Neem oil is particularly effective against aphids, spider mites, and young caterpillars. For a homemade alternative, garlic spray offers similar benefits using ingredients you likely have on hand. Just blend several garlic cloves with water, strain the mixture, and add a few drops of dish soap to help it stick to plant surfaces. This spray works primarily as a repellent, making your pepper plants less attractive to pest insects. Remember to reapply after rain or heavy watering. Sometimes the most effective solutions are the simplest ones. Row covers made from lightweight fabric can protect young pepper plants during their most vulnerable early growth stages. These covers allow light and water through while keeping flying pests from reaching your plants. Be sure to remove covers once plants begin flowering to allow for pollination. Sticky traps placed around pepper plants can significantly reduce flying pest populations before they become established. Yellow traps are particularly effective for aphids and whiteflies, while blue traps attract thrips. These traps won't eliminate pest problems on their own, but they provide valuable early warning and help reduce overall pest pressure. For ground-dwelling pests like cutworms, simple cardboard collars around pepper seedlings provide excellent protection. Cut cardboard tubes into 3-inch sections and push them into the soil around each plant, leaving about an inch above ground. This physical barrier prevents cutworms from reaching plant stems while decomposing naturally over time. The most important aspect of any natural pest management program is honestly consistency. Unlike synthetic pesticides that provide immediate knockdown, natural methods work best when applied regularly as part of an integrated approach. This doesn't mean daily treatments but rather consistent monitoring and preventive applications before problems become severe. Keep detailed records of what works in your specific garden conditions. Note which companion plants seem most effective when pest problems typically appear, and which natural treatments provide the best results. This information becomes invaluable for planning future growing seasons and, really fine-tuning your approach. The ultimate reward for implementing these natural pest prevention strategies is a garden filled with healthy, productive pepper plants laden with beautiful fruit. There's something deeply satisfying about walking through your pepper patch and seeing lush, green foliage unmarred by pest damage and branches heavy with developing peppers in all their colorful variety. But success isn't just measured in the peppers you harvest, it's also in the thriving ecosystem you've created. Watch for the beneficial insects that have made your garden their home. Notice how the soil feels richer and more alive with each passing season. Appreciate the fact that your peppers are not only pest-free but also free from chemical residues, making them safer for your family and better for the environment. The strategies outlined in this guide work because they address pest problems holistically rather than reactively. By creating conditions where pepper plants thrive and pests struggle, you're working with natural systems rather than fighting against them. This approach requires patience initially, but the long-term benefits far outweigh the short-term convenience of chemical quick fixes. Remember that every garden is unique, and what works perfectly in one location might need adjustment in another. Don't be discouraged if your first attempts aren't immediately perfect. Even experienced gardeners continue learning and adapting their approaches based on changing conditions and new challenges. Your pepper plants are counting on you to provide them with the best possible growing conditions, and with these natural pest prevention methods in your toolkit, you're well equipped to deliver. The combination of healthy soil, strategic companion planting, beneficial insect habitat, and simple monitoring creates a robust defense system that becomes more effective each growing season. If you found these natural pest prevention strategies helpful and want to continue building your gardening knowledge, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more practical, science-based gardening advice. Share this guide with fellow gardeners who might be struggling with pest problems. Together, we can create more beautiful, productive, and sustainable gardens. Happy growing, and here's to your most successful pepper harvest yet.